Hello everyone, welcome back. Today I'm going to talk to you guys about changing out this little rubber stopper here on the recoil assembly of your Lynx 12. Okay, so the way that you're supposed to do this is there's like this little pin that passes through over here, right? You're supposed to punch that out and take this whole thing off. It seemed like an awful lot of work. What I elected to do is basically this rubber stopper here, I just split it right down the middle over here, and once I cut this thing open, I was able to pass it through, and I was able to go another 2,000 rounds after that. So that's the easy way to do it. Okay, so let me give you guys some more detail. Okay, so somewhere around first of all, this Lynx 12 here has around 15,000 rounds on it. Okay, I've changed out the recoil spring twice. Okay, so now it's on this third recoil spring. The first time I changed it out was at about 8,000 rounds, but somewhere around 5,000–6,000 rounds, I saw that basically my trigger group jammed up, opened up the gun, and I saw that a piece of that rubber from the recoil spring had mangled itself up into the trigger group. I think it was under the trigger, and it wasn't allowing the trigger to come back. So after I took out the rubber and I saw the trigger group was working fine, I inspected the rubber, and I saw it was all chewed up, and then I realized I needed to change it. Okay, so I ordered 2 of these from SDS, and I had to figure out how am I going to get this thing in there. And like I said, I elected to split it right down the middle. One of the things I wanted you guys to take a look at. Okay, now this is the second one. That's not the first one I put in there. This is the second one. You see how basically these are the main points of contact here, 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 and here. Okay, so there's not a whole lot of contact down the middle, so that's why I decided to split it down the middle. Okay, now on the first recoil spring, so like I said, I changed it at around 5,000–6,000 rounds. By 8,000 rounds, I had to change the whole recoil spring out altogether. Okay? And the way I knew that is because basically I would run the charging handle, and it was like really, really light. I was like, so I realized that the recoil spring was dying. The good thing about that is as the recoil spring gets weaker and weaker, you're able to shoot really low velocity bird shot. So I was shooting like bird shot with a velocity of like 1145. So that's why I do hold on to my old recoil springs in case I come across some low velocity bird shot. But if as you shoot more powerful stuff, it's gonna beat up the gun more. Okay, so I changed it. So by 8,000 rounds, I had to change it altogether. So if you're getting close to that, if you're at like 6,000 rounds, and you see that your rubber stopper is getting all like chewed up, I would just order the, get the whole thing. I mean, 2 years ago, these things were like $12. I think now they're close to the $30, so they're like double. But, if you've chewed up that rubber and you're up, 5,000 rounds plus, you might as well just change out the whole thing. Now, if you're shooting a lot of buckshot, a lot of slugs, you are going to wear out the rubber faster. So at that point, yeah, it makes sense to, if you see that your recoil spring is still good, you still got some good, some good resistance there, then yeah, I would definitely change out that rubber. But at the same time, while you're ordering the rubber, get yourself a backup recoil spring. Okay. So like I said, I changed it at 8,000 rounds, and then now I've changed it again at around 15,000 rounds. So the first time we went 8,000 rounds, the second time we went about 7,000 rounds before I saw that the recoil spring was getting really light. The interesting thing though is that in the first 8,000 rounds, or even at 6,000 rounds rather, it got chewed up a lot faster. The second time around, right? So this one over here, it's got 7,000 rounds on it. It's the spring itself is very weak, but the rubber is in fairly good condition, right? You can see how it's just cut on those corners. I mean, this rubber's is probably still usable. So that's just an interesting observation. I think that when your gun is newer, it seems to, you know, go through that rubber a little bit faster than as it gets older and you put more rounds on it. I mean, I don't know, that's how it seems. Now, I pretty much shoot only birdshot in my guns. I use it basically to shoot at clay discs. If you're shooting buckshot, slugs, you know, you might have a slightly different experience. I was talking to somebody, you know, I was talking with somebody that shoots primarily buckshot with this, and they said they were like within the first couple of 100 rounds, and they had already chewed up that rubber stopper. Okay, so that's definitely something you want to pay attention to, because, you know, that rubber stopper is important. You know, if it's not there, or if it gets chewed up too quickly, it can start beating up your gun unnecessarily. Okay, so hope this video was useful to you guys. What I'm going to do is I have a whole playlist of Lynx 12 videos. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a link to that playlist in the comments below, and I'm going to pin it. I'll also put in the description, so you guys can click on it. You can see the entire playlist, and then you can scroll through it and see all the videos I've done on the Lynx 12, and you can pick out videos that you think are going to, you know, be useful to you and watch them. Okay, so thanks a lot for watching. If you're not a member of the channel, subscribe, hit the bell button so you get the notifications. I'll talk to you guys soon.